Hey guys, welcome to Vibe Bite. Today we're talking about why women say they want honesty but actually want something completely different.
Oh yeah, we'll dive into how guys test you if you're not their type and why you can't be too picky if you're not a model.
We'll also break down what it means to serve in a relationship and what makes a good guy. It's going to be interesting.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Let's go.
First of all, I just want to say this commenter and to everyone else who's been saying the same thing, I'm so sorry that this is our reality and this is how we've been made to feel. And it's real. Like, as much as I wish it wasn't real, I want to validate you and say that it is real, that people do treat fat women like this. And unfortunately, in our society, we've made dating conventionally attractive, conventionally hot people a form of social currency where you're almost embarrassed to be seen with someone who doesn't fall under that category. I'm not innocent in this either. Like, I've dated so many different kinds of men, but I have the internalized belief that, like, why would this hot guy want to be seen with me? Which is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And I hate that I feel that way. Unfortunately, this has been my reality as well. A lot of people want to hook up. Almost no one wants to actually date. Like, very, very few. And the ones who do, I'm kind of like, ugh, I don't like you. That's a whole other can of worms.
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
Oh, seriously? You're complaining because the handsome guy doesn't want to be seen with you in public, only hook up? Well, at least he's not just playing around. You got what you wanted. Tell me, how many beautiful women would date an overweight guy but not want to be seen with him? Almost none. So stop complaining. Double standards, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want a hot guy but complain he doesn't want to show you off to his friends? Well, don't be surprised. Even those who stray a bit from the norm still want to be with a good-looking guy. But when it comes to men, that's a different story. Where's the fairness in that?
So stop playing the victim. The guys you want are just looking for fun. Don't expect them to take you to dinner with the family. It's just reality. Double standards work both ways.
Just reminded that 9 years ago today, I had the first, how do I get these words out? My first experience dating as a fat person, and I was in high school and I was just a baby, and I wish I could go back and hug her. Way too young to be on dating apps, but it's right when they first came out. And so my friends and I would joke around and we would just talk to some people, and it was fairly innocent. And there was this one boy I was talking to that was like more upstate New York or maybe west or somewhere else, not near where I was living. We had been talking for a bit, and we never really planned to meet up just because neither of us had cars or a license yet or anything like that. But I was going to a concert with my friend, and it was in the town that he was in, and he was also going to that concert. And so we thought it would be a perfect idea to meet up then. I had shared with the kid that I was curvier, thicker. Frankly, I was actually 100 pounds lighter than I am now. And we had sent each other pictures back and forth. He knew exactly what I looked like. I wasn't trying to fake anything because the last thing I wanted to do was for him to be shocked and I be a catfish. I get to the concert, I'm so excited, I'm texting him, I'm thinking, I'm finally gonna have my first kiss. I see him from afar, I go to text him and say, hey, let's meet up, and he blocks me.
No way.
Oh, really? You went to the concert, were waiting for a kiss, and he blocked you? Well, so what, but let's be honest. Young men face much harsher treatment, and I'm not trying to be cool, but let's break it down. This guy was probably talking to several girls. Maybe he was gonna meet up with two and chose the one he found more attractive. It's a tough world, but that's how it works. It's not about your weight, that's just how things turned out. It may not have been about your weight, but maybe he felt misled by your pictures. Maybe you didn't look the way he expected. It happens, but you know what? He probably considered you as third on his list, not even as a top choice.
And let's be real, there's not a lot of sympathy here. You're not the only one dealing with being ignored or rejected in dating. Do you even know how many times guys go through this? Ignoring, rejection, constant rejections. For guys, this is a regular situation, so let's stop blaming everything on weight. Sure, it's easier to blame something you think you can control, but that's not the real reason. When you were younger, you might have been lighter, but your value in relationships still depended on other factors. When you're younger, your SMV, sexual market value, is usually lower. It's a reality, and I'm not saying it's fair, but a lot of people deal with it. Double standards? Absolutely. But it's not just about weight.
And I'm like, I did not come all this way to be blocked. So I went up to him and tried to start a conversation, gave him a hug, and he was so awkward. I left him alone. I went on with the day, and eventually he unblocked me, and I was like, what happened? And he was like, you're not curvy, you're fat. It was so creepy. You creep me out so much. Like, how come you stalked me? How come you came to this concert? All this stuff. And I was like, we planned it. It was gaslighting. I was so embarrassed and ashamed, and I hated myself. And oh my God, relax. I thought, I will never find anybody if I am the way I am. And it's just so sad. And that would start the disaster of me dating and online dating for the rest of my life as a fat person. And I want you to know that if you're doing that, I see you, I hear you, I've been there. You're gonna find your person, and they're gonna love all of you.
Show of hands for everybody who knew. Bingo.
All right, who's with me? Why does everyone always say, love yourself as you are, and you'll find someone who will love you the same? It sounds nice, but why not be honest and say, let's work on ourselves, get healthier, and live better?
Yeah, but here's the thing. People often blame others for not accepting them, yet they don't notice that they themselves have their own expectations. Like, you want someone who's fit, tall, and successful, but when it's the other way around, that's not good enough.
Exactly. And then they start saying that if a guy doesn't meet certain standards, he's bad. But women have a whole list of requirements, and as soon as something's missing, panic mode.
Right. Women want Mr. Perfect with abs, a good job, and a high income, but as soon as a guy sets even one requirement, they think he's shallow.
It's really like that. Why do we have to accept everyone, but expect others to meet our standards? Why not just be honest about what we're looking for in people?
Oh yeah. And it's funny when women say they love their body, but get upset if a guy doesn't meet their standards.
And by the way, ladies, before we start loving ourselves, maybe we should show a little love to the treadmill, huh? Just a thought.
Yeah, it's all about balance, right? Let's keep going.
These are my top 3 tips for dating a curvy girl. Tip number 1, always tighten the toilet seat after each use. Immediately when she's out of the washroom, you're gonna go in and you are going to tighten the toilet seat for her. Tip number 2, always buy a lot of toilet paper. If you're dating a curvy girl, okay, normal packs are not enough. You've gotta go to Costco and you've gotta stock up. And tip number 3, know your positions. Curvy girls, we can't always do the crazy positions that you might be used to. Plus, there's a lot of flesh to get through. So know your curvy girl positions.
Okay, fat women, I'm gonna teach you how to get the princess treatment from men. And I'm talking like you're over 300 pounds and men are treating you like gold. I have been flown out. I have been wined and dined. I've had very respectful conversations. I get flowers regularly. I'm not gonna lie to you. This takes time. It takes patience, understanding. You want a quick fix? This is probably not the video for you. Number 1, unsubscribe and don't engage with content that is battle of the meaning like all men are shit, all women are shit. There are shit people in this world. And that has nothing to do with their gender. A lot of that content is made because it's very relatable. And when someone goes viral for making something that's like, oh, guys do this, they're going to keep trying to make that content and it's not always genuine. Number 2, if you want to be treated like a princess, you have to act like a princess. It also helps to look like a princess. And trust me, I get it. I grew up in a household where like sarcasm was literally our love language. It's like how we communicated, how we love each other. That's great, but that's just not something that I want in my relationship. I really want to be treated like in a romantic way. I want to be treated with respect and just a lot of love and understanding. So I give that. Like when I talk to someone, I talk to men in a certain way, and that goes into like number 3. I'm always so respectful when I speak to men. I always speak to them in a really high regard. I'm always like, how are you, sir? I'm very intentional in communicating my feelings, and either they reciprocate that or they get really freaked out. I'm okay if they get freaked out because I realize I'm like, okay, I don't need to waste my time with this person. They don't get it.
Okay, guys, let's give credit where credit is due. Even though she's talking about being a princess and how to get all that attention, in a way, she's actually right.
Absolutely. If you're a girl with a bigger size and you're comfortable with it, you'd be surprised at the level of attention you can get. It's true.
Exactly. But let's get to the main point she made. You can't just expect to be treated like a princess without putting in some work.
Oh yeah, it's not going to happen overnight. You've got to put in the effort and time to earn that kind of treatment.
She mentioned being flown out and getting flowers, right? Yeah, that's cool, but here's the key. A high-status man won't mind dating a bigger girl if she's okay with it, doesn't cause drama, and doesn't ask for too much attention. Eventually, he'll be serious with her if she's cool with his lifestyle.
Exactly. If a guy has plenty of options and he still chooses to be with you, it means you're not a hassle. He'll appreciate it if you're easygoing with his way of life.
But if you're dating an 8/10 girl and she has a bad attitude, she'll ruin everything. With that mindset, it's like a sale. You'll get what you want, but it won't last long.
And if you're with a bigger girl who's chill and understands she needs time to get what she wants, she's worth her weight in gold. No joke?
Let's see what else she has to say.
Like, they don't get it. Number 4 should have been number 1, but any guy that approaches me and immediately talks about my body, is in any way, says things that just like rub me the wrong way, I don't even respond. I don't even open the message. Delete and move on because they're already telling you what they want. Stop engaging. Please stop engaging with these kinds of men. Number 5, I tell them exactly how I want to be treated. I tell them I like flowers. I like flowers regularly. Flowers make me feel blah, blah, blah. I love gifts. I love when someone thought of me and blah, 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 blah. Like, I tell them exactly what I want. And here's the thing. Some of them are going to do it just in the beginning, just to like get your attention or whatever. But usually the mask comes off at some point and you'll know whether it's like within their character to be this way. I saw something the other day that said toxic men are always looking to see what they can get from you, and like healthy men are always looking to see how they can serve you. And I feel like that is spot on. I also don't expect that every man that approaches me is going to be my type or the kind of man that I like because I'm very picky, but I do still respect them and talk to them as though they're my friends. It's only when they risk rejection and are very intentional in the way that they speak to me, like, hey, I want to take you out, or hey, I'd like to get to know you better, or I have feelings for you. That's when I start to be like, oh, do I like this person? Like, do I see myself with them? Then and only then. Honestly, I could go on and on, but this is really long. So if you guys have any questions or you want to hear more, just let me know. Bye.
All right, here's the deal. The queen says, I want honesty. But when a guy tells her the truth, she has a problem. Women say they want the truth, but what they really want is a fairy tale.
Oh, 100%. And then she says she's picky. But let's be real, queen. When you don't have the model figure, you can't afford to be too pissy. You can't dictate the terms if you don't have the cards to play.
Exactly. A guy will test you, especially if you're not his type. He'll tell you what he wants and expects you to adjust. And if you can't handle it, well, you're not ready for real life.
And here's the kicker. She says toxic guys will want something from her, but good guys will serve her. Well, that's all simp talk. Men and women both want something out of the relationship, and they both want to see what they get in return.
Absolutely. But if you're not on top of your game, don't expect a guy to fall at your feet. You have to earn it, trust, respect, everything. And that takes time, especially if you're not putting in any effort.
And let's be honest, queen, you're not going to have many options if you're not meeting guys who like a specific type or those good guys who are ready to do everything for you.
Exactly. You can't expect top-tier treatment if you're not giving the same in return. You can't just sit back and demand it. That's not how it works.
Makeup on just for this date, so it better go well. And I'm not posting this, probably, if it doesn't. It did not go well. Truthfully, it lasted less than 2 minutes. I walked up, he gave me a hug and said, "Are you hungry? Let's go inside." We went inside. He said, "Actually, can you step outside for a minute?" I stepped back outside, and he said, "I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm just not feeling it." So I walked to my car, came back home. Dating when you're fat sucks.
Oh, here we go again. So she's upset because the date didn't go well? Look, I get it, dating is tough for everyone these days, but seriously? complaining that he didn't feel the chemistry after 2 minutes. At least the guy showed up. A lot of people don't even make it that far nowadays.
Wow, guys, let's look at this from another angle. Dating is hard for everyone, but let's not forget that men also face rejection, and most of the time, they're the ones planning and paying for everything. So saying dating sucks because I'm plus-sized, is that the whole truth or just a convenient excuse?
Exactly. Men have been dealing with the brutal realities of dating since day one. Sure, you can cry about it all over the internet, but it's nothing new. And honestly, weight isn't just about looks, it's about effort. If you feel like your size is holding you back, maybe that's something you can change.
Exactly. Stop blaming everyone else and maybe put that burger down while you're at it. Confidence and self-improvement go a long way in relationships, no matter your size. But if all you're gonna do is complain, sorry, no sympathy here. Next. So guys, today we've uncovered a bit about how things really work in relationships.
Yeah, and how important it is to understand that relationships aren't just about sitting around waiting for everything to fall from the sky. You need to earn respect and trust.
Absolutely. Now tell us, what do you think? Can you be picky if you don't meet certain standards? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're curious to hear from you.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.
Morning vibes, весь мир поет. Ловлю ритм, это без прикол. Каждый день как новый рок-н-ролл. Morning vibes, это наш маршрут. В этом ритме мы живем и тут. Morning vibes, это наш маршрут. В этом ритме мы живем и тут.